Hello and welcome to another edition of Arsenal Talk. This is Ollie1 Roddy and I've decided to make another video. I said I wouldn't do any more until the end of the month, but I found some free time and there was one transfer rumour in particular that interested me and I thought I'd talk about it. Now, anyone wondering if I'm going to do a Robin van Persie video anytime soon, I'm not. I'm waiting until after the Euros, where we're going to be a little bit closer to knowing the decision. So look forward to that. But yes, recently we have been linked with two players, one of which we've been linked with many times before, and the other one being a relative surprise, really. I hadn't heard much of us and this player before now, but that would be Adem Ljajić and Christian Eriksen, the two players that we've recently been linked with, both of them 20-year-old attacking midfielders. Adem Ljajić, young Serbian playing in Fiorentina, and Christian Eriksen, a young Dane playing for Ajax in the Eredivisie. Right, now, what costs have been quoted for them? Looking at the Metro and Football Talk respectively, the idea is that a trade Adem Ljajić for Marouane Chamakh would be made. Both players rumoured to be valued around 6 million. Now, what position would that put us in? Obviously, we could be losing Van Persie over the summer. Now, okay, we're not going to go into the details of what that would mean for us, but obviously it would mean we lose a striker. We have signed Podolski, which means we can afford to lose one striker. However, if we lose Chamakh as well, that could put us in a difficult position where we have to rely on a player like Park Ju-young. Which we may not want to do because obviously Park Ji-young's not seen much action. However, players like Joel Campbell could be coming into the side next season. Wellington Silva also, although he's a winger, could be granted a work permit. We could see him in the first team. Obviously, players like Theo Walcott and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain can play up front. So, you know, it's very much up to Arsene what he thinks. If he thinks we can afford to lose Chamakh for an attacking midfielder, Ljajić certainly can't play striker. He's definitely suited the attacking midfield role. The cost for Eriksen, he's a player valued around 25 million. CalledOffside.com has suggested Arsenal would make a bid in connection to also sending a few players over, players like Arshavin, Bentner, maybe also Chamakh. Now we're going to have a look at their statistics. Adem Ljajić for Fiorentina, this is in the Italian league obviously. He's made 32 starts in 3 years and also 29 substitute appearances. That's 61 appearances in all competitions. And in those competitions he's scored 9 goals and 3 assists. Christian Eriksen, on the other hand, 103 appearances in 3 years. Subs and starting appearances, although he's had a lot more starting appearances than Ljajić. He's also had 19 goals and 8 assists in that period. Now, my personal opinion is formed looking through these two players, and I will put some links in the description below for some videos for them, that Christian Eriksen is the better player. Now, one of the things that have pointed me towards that, not only his better goal and assists statistics and his more starts for the team, but also his accuracy. Adem Ljajić has scored 9 goals with 82 shots on goal, not all of them on target. Christian Eriksen has got 65 shots on goal with 19 goals. Now, that does start to paint a picture, especially for a midfield player, is, you know, Christian Eriksen's obviously more accurate. Now, they're both very similar style of player. They're both kind of a light dribbling, passing midfield player. Now, obviously, Eriksen's more accurate with his attacking. He's also got a few more assists. But what really are their core attributes? I mean, as I said, they're both very similar. Eriksen probably a lot better with the passing. As I said, more accurate. He's probably better technically. Adem Ljajić is a bit of a dribbler. I mean, he does seem to go for the wings a lot. He does seem to try and force his way past players, whereas Eriksen's more interested in finding himself space to make a killer pass. Also, he scored quite a few long distance goals as opposed to Ljajić. I think Eriksen is more of an old-fashioned central midfielder, you know, kind of looking for the gaps, looking for the spaces, whereas Ljajić is kind of this dribbling, attacking midfielder that we're seeing more and more now, who wants to get into the box and get involved in the action. Now, obviously Eriksen's got a lot higher value. He's also probably had a lot more coverage in the newspapers because a lot of top clubs such as Barcelona and Man United have been interested in signing him. If it's a question of which player could I take if money wasn't an option, and obviously both players wanting to come, then yeah, I'd have Eriksen on the drop of a hat. His stats are a lot better, he's a lot more consistent, and I think also his similarity to Cesc Fabregas in his style of play is profound. Although I wouldn't say no to Adem Ljajić. I think my only concern is he reminds me very much of Rosicky when we first signed him from Borussia Dortmund. This kind of young, dribbling player who likes to get into the box and attack. And my concern is obviously with what happened with Rosicky is he came here, had a big impact, kind of, stole the show, and then just seemed to disappear, and we didn't hear much from him for a few years until very recently. Obviously, the Arsenal at the moment, we need to rebuild. We need to get some players now who are making a difference, and that's why I think Eriksen would definitely be the better player for that. Of course, the 25 million cost is huge. Recently, it's been reported that 17.7 million would be enough for Jan Villa. However, Arsenal are refusing to pay that much, which would definitely seem 25 million a long shot, even for a player as good as Eriksen. Of course, maybe with a few players sending the other way, that cost will reduce a lot, or obviously if Eriksen particularly wants to come, that cost could go down. But I think in realism, and unfortunately we have to deal with realism, I think it's more likely that out of the two players, Ljajić will be an Arsenal player next season. Unless something spectacular happens with transfers, we probably won't sign Eriksen, or he may go elsewhere. But I mean, will having Ljajić be a bad thing? Obviously, the most likely circumstance is that we'd lose Chamakh if we were to gain Ljajić. Now, I wouldn't want us to be in the same situation we were in last year, where we purchased a striker as a panic buy, because Park Chu-young hasn't really performed at Arsenal. He hasn't really played much, so obviously Arsenal can't have too much trust in him. And we can't get into the situation again where we find ourselves with a striker shortage and go out and buy the first available cheap striker, because that would obviously not be very good at all to Arsenal. We have got Podolski, and I mean I suppose it also all depends if Van Persie stays or not. If Van Persie stays, then this would be a fantastic way of gaining a new player in the midfield in Adem Ljajić. I mean, this would almost be the ideal transfer, because we do need a bit more creativity in the midfield, and we would be losing some dead wood. So only time will tell, I think. My opinion, my humble opinion, would be that signing Christian Eriksen would be fantastic, but unrealistic given his evaluation. But that signing Adem Ljajić for Chamakh, if we do keep Van Persie, would probably be a very good signing, and I would very much look forward to seeing him playing in an Arsenal shirt next year. So thank you for listening for my video. If you can please like, subscribe and comment below anything that you could have to say about either of these two players, or any transfer rumours that you'd like me to cover in the next video. Thanks a lot for listening. This has been Ollie1Roddy, and I will speak to you soon. Cheers. Bye bye.